Okay, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Presley's Pod. I am very excited about this episode. I'm in a good mood today. Things are going well. I'm seeing my friends later. Super excited. You might notice that there are no flowers in this current setup. I have flowers and they were sitting right here. And as I was getting ready to sit down and hit record, what did the flowers do? The vase fell over. And what is in the vase? Water, 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 water everywhere, all over the floor, and we had to clean it up, and then I tried to put them back and they fell over again, and I said, you know what, maybe no more flowers until we're officially in our new space where they can be on a flat surface and be very sturdy. So I was traveling this weekend. I went to Denver for work, which was very fun, and I was flying Southwest. Now, Southwest is an interesting one. They are the ones that have the open seating, and it gets a little confusing if you haven't flown Southwest ever, right? You're looking around at the polls and the numbers, and you're like, who's where? What group am I? I get it. So I always pay to be in the first group that boards because I just don't like to take the chances, and I like to be knowing that I'm going to get on the flight in the first group. So I'm standing there with group A, getting ready to get on the plane. And the way that the poles are set up, you're always in someone's way. Someone's always trying to get by, you're always scooting over, etc., etc. So I was in the way many a time, and I kept getting taps on the shoulder, like, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, thank you, thank you. Okay. So I get a little tap, tap. I turn around and I see this man, tall, nicely dressed, blue eyes, looking right at me. And at first I was like, oh, my bad. And I scooted over. And then said, oh, he's looking at me. He is trying to talk to me. And he said, how does this work? I don't fly Southwest. I don't understand how this works. And right away, I immediately go to, especially in an airport, I'm like, why is this person talking to me? I do all of the airport safety tips and tricks. I don't like flash my ID around. I don't flash my boarding pass around. When someone's asking me where I'm going, why I'm going, I don't try to give too many details. They don't need to know. So he asked me how it works, and I said, oh, it's the groups, yada, yada. And he goes, I'm number 43. And I was like, oh, no, I'm number 43, like in the A group. And this other guy joins in on the conversation. And he's like, oh, no, you're C43, like you're in the back. And he was like, oh, okay. So I'll go like sit down with the rest of the people. And I was thinking about it, and I said, originally I was like, why does this man want to talk to me? And then I was like, I texted my friends and I was like, oh, maybe he was like trying to talk to me, like to talk to me. Like maybe he didn't actually have a question or whatever. I don't know. So that was the one exciting thing that happened on the way there. I was like, okay, like maybe I got a little something going on with like my blue sweatsuit and people want to talk to me, but I don't know. Safety first always for me. So Denver was great. I get back. When I was leaving for Denver, I was getting some work done in my apartment. And I was having people paint, and I was having the lock changed. And I had my super there, and he was walking everyone through what needed to be done, etc. It's Friday morning. They're painting. I hear people start working on the lock. And as an hour goes by, I'm getting ready to leave for the airport. I say to my super, hey, I have to leave. So tell them to stop working on the lock because I want to use my old key to get back when I get back on Monday night. And he said, okay, no problem. Okay, no problem. Well, here's the thing. New York has a way of humbling you. Okay. You land in New York City. You're like, start spreading the news. This new beginnings. I love New York. Woohoo. And then New York will just take a quick, swift punch to the face as soon as you land. For example, last winter, I got back from Turks and Caicos. We're vibing high. We were in Turks and Caicos on vacation. Ready to go back to New York. I said, you know what? I'm going to take the train. Okay. I'm going to take the train. I'm going to save money. Oh, I love this city. I take the train. Something happens and the trains just stop working. Every New Yorker knows this. We don't know why. We don't know how. They just stop working. And you have to figure out how you're going to get where you need to get. Meanwhile, it's freezing. Did I bring a winter coat to Turks and Caicos? I don't think so. So I say, oh, well, I'll just go upstairs and grab a cab. Easy. Go upstairs and grab a cab. No cabs anywhere. Look at the Ubers, insane prices. There must have been something going on. So I walked in the freezing cold. I think I walked 6 avenues. And I said, you know what? We might as well just keep trucking. So I get back to New York. My flight lands around 9 p.m. on Monday night. Okay, I'm happy to be back, but I'm starving and I can't wait to shower, get in my bed, and get ready for a great week. I carry my suitcase up the 5 flights of stairs that I do every day, and I start walking to my door, and I have this little feeling that this whole me just walking into my apartment, making my food, showering, going to bed is just a little too good to be true. So I take my keys, put them in the door. Mm, mm, mm. I say, "Oh, okay. Maybe the lock is just a little sticky. It's fine." Mm, mm. The key is not going. And in that moment, I feel the rage. I feel the rage. I call my super. My super spends maybe like 2 days a week in the apartment building. I don't know where he lives. I don't know what he does when he's not there, but thankfully on this Monday, he was there. I call him. I say, hey, did you change the locks while I was gone? And he goes, no, what's wrong with your locks? They should be working. And I said, oh, it's not working, babe. It is not working. He says, oh, I'll come up and look at it. And in my head, I'm like, oh, so happy that he is home and can look at it. So he takes his key. I already said it doesn't work. Let's just preface that. It doesn't work. He takes his key, tries it, doesn't work. Shocker. He's looking at me like I'm an idiot and he can get the door opened. So in the back of my head, I was like, please don't open. I wanted it to open, but I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of being able to open it just with like the way that he was looking at me. So I'm standing there. 5 minutes go by and he's trying the door. 8 minutes go by. He's trying the door. I say, so I don't think that it's going to work. What is your plan of action, sir? Do I need to call a locksmith? Do I need to get a hotel and we try again in the morning? It was probably like 9:45 by this point. Like, what are we doing? He says, I'm going to knock on the neighbor's door and I'm going to crawl around your fire escape and hopefully the painters left the window open so I can crawl into your apartment and open the door from the inside. Couple things, okay? There's a lot of hopefullys in that scenario that this man came up with. One, that my neighbor would be home. Two, that the window was going to be open, that maybe magically the painters left the window open for him. So I already didn't like this plan. So he starts knocking on my poor neighbor's door. He's knocking, he's knocking, he's knocking. And I say, I guess he's not home. So what do you want to do now? He says, no, 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 he's home. Said, oh, okay. So I guess we'll just stand here and keep knocking. So the door opens, and my lovely, lovely neighbor is like, "Hey, what's up? What's going on?" My super tells him what's going on. I apologize. I'm like, "I'm so sorry for this chaos." He's like, "No, it's fine. Whatever. Like, sure, he can try to crawl around, whatever." So my super, first of all, no one should be climbing up around on like a New York City fire escape on the fifth floor. That is like horrible, horrible idea. You're asking for something bad to happen. And my super probably isn't giving agile, quick reflexes up that high. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. So he then gets out there somehow. The window is closed. Okay, the painters closed it. He asks my neighbor for a screwdriver because I think he was going to try to shimmy it open somehow. I don't know. Neighbor gives him said screwdriver, whatever. He comes back. He's like, "That's not working," etc. He starts trying the lock again. He starts trying to lock again. I'm there. My neighbor's there. At this point, my poor neighbor is involved. He's trying to help. He's like, "Oh, I think I saw people here on Saturday. Did they change it while you were out of town?" My super is trying the door that we already know doesn't work. The only thing going through my head is Sabrina Carpenter's "Manchild" just on repeat. On repeat, because we weren't being proactive. Okay, we have the problem needs to be fixed so that I can get in my apartment, or if it's another issue, I'll go get a hotel, whatever, and we need to snap to it and fix said problem. Okay, so I look at him and I'm like, "What do you want to do? It's not working. Are we calling a locksmith? What are we doing?" He goes, "Well, locksmith is going to be expensive." I said, "Oh, well, this is not my fault, so I'm not paying for this. I don't know who was supposed to pay for this. I guess it's the building. I don't know." And my neighbor was so sweet. He texted me after and was like, "If you need a third witness, let me know because you're not paying for this. I saw the whole thing go down. Don't let him try to make you pay for it." So my super didn't bring his phone upstairs. Didn't bring his phone upstairs. So I said, "Oh, well, do you know the number of the locksmith or do you know the company so I can call them so you don't have to go all the way back down to come all the way back up, etc." He's like, "No, no, no, I'll call them. I'll get my phone, whatever." My super texts me and says, "The locksmith is 35 minutes away." And I say, "Okay, thank you." And, there had been some miscommunication about this whole situation so far. So I said, "You know what? Let me just call my super and double check that we're on the same page about what's about to happen." I call him and I say, "Hey, I just want to make sure that, this is the same block guy. Like, if I don't know where we got lost in translation. I don't know where the new copy of the key is. I don't know what's going on, etc." My super proceeds to start basically raising his voice at me, talking about how he's done so much for me, yada, yada, yada. And he's just trying to help me and all the things. And I said, "Oh, whoa, 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 sir. Sir, calm down. You're so emotional. Don't get so worked up about this. Name one thing that you've done for me. Last year I had a issue in the apartment. Okay, you were MIA. I had to hire someone to fix it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So name one thing. Yes, you got some painters and you pointed to them about which walls, but it's not like I live in a penthouse. It took them one day." So I said, "Thank you so much for your help. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page before this poor man drives 35 minutes at 10 p.m. on a Monday night." The locksmith comes. 5 flights of stairs. My favorite thing to do is watch this man climb the 5 flights of stairs, okay? Locksmith comes. Locksmith tries the door. Doesn't work. He's like, "Oh, this man had a good head on his shoulders, okay? He knew what was going on." He's like, "Oh, it's something with like the cylinder, the inside of the door." He's like, "It's something got messed up here with you trying to change it." Sounds about right if you ask me. So the locksmith starts basically drilling a hole into my door. Thankfully, my neighbor was awake since we had already caused him this chaos. And again, I was texting him, apologizing. But starts drilling into my door. My super goes downstairs. I don't know where he goes. MIA. We're standing there. He's fiddling with the locks, whatever. He's putting in a new lock, giving me a new key. The only audio in this whole situation is my stomach growling after I had sat outside of my apartment for 35 minutes waiting for this man. He then fixes it. I get inside. Luckily, I'm inside the apartment and I'm just, thank God I'm inside. I can figure out a key tomorrow. I'll put one of my boxes in front of the door so no one can get in, whatever. Luckily, he was able to fix it, give me a key, gave my super a key, and we all went on our merry way. I've been avoiding my super ever since because we had a really good relationship before this, but now I'm like, oh, he probably hates me. But also, I was very nice about it. And unfortunately, this was not my fault. So, if you haven't taken notes or kind of put together the pieces of what's going on, I live by myself now, which is very exciting. And so I'm getting a lot of new furniture for the place. And I again live in a 5-floor walk up. So I have asked two of my friends to help me move all of this furniture up the stairs, the things that we can at least handle, the three of us. If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you will see some videos of us trying to push this furniture up the stairs. And I just want to give them a personal shout out and say thank you. And a little reminder to us all that if you're asking someone for a big favor like that, we were sweating, okay? We were sweating, we were taking breaks. It was physical labor. If you're asking someone to do something like that for you, please, 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 please get them something in return. Okay. I took them out for drinks, whether it's a nice thank you card, whether it's buying them dinner, whether it's honestly, if you don't have the time or the means to do something, a thank you card goes with some cash in there goes a long way, okay? Because they went out of their way to come help me move things upstairs. I don't know many people that would do that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we had a great time at drinks after. So, again, none of my neighbors listen to this, but apologies for all the boxes that are in the lobby. Okay. So, I am going out with my friends tonight. Obviously, when this comes out, it's not in real time. We all know this. So I'm very excited for a little girls' night because we're going on vacation next week. We are going back to Naples for a quick 2 days, just a little hurrah before our work season gets really busy. So very much looking forward to that. But, but I have said this many a time, and my friends and I have said this many a time, but two of my friends, the two that I'm always with, and this is a little PSA for everyone out there. You know how everyone is saying you can't meet people in person anymore, yada, yada, whatever. Two men have come into our lives, and it's our lives because it's all of us. We're all aware of everyone's business, okay? Um, these two men, my friends, met out and about, not at a bar, not at a club, just living their lives. And I have also said this many a time, but these two, we have a lot of potential, okay? It's giving, here's the reservation. It's giving, I'll send a car. It's giving, I'll pick you up. Oh, here's your Uber home. Yeah, yeah. So there is hope. I'm saying this for everyone. There is hope. And yeah, I'm super excited for them. And yay. So happy Sunday. I hope everyone has a great week. I will be packing and getting ready for Naples while you all listen to this. And oh, I do have one thing that I do want to say before we officially log off. I have noticed that I have been on social media a lot more lately. And I think it's because I've had some bigger gaps in my schedule. I haven't been as busy. So I'm saying this as a PSA for myself. while I'm in Naples and while things are starting to get pretty busy again, I really need to take a pause from the scrolling. Okay, there's other things that I can be doing with that time. I notice that it's starting to become a habit for me to open my phone and go to the app. So I will be on the apps to post, but other than that, I am really trying to limit the scrolling, and I think I need to give myself a cutoff time at night. So for me, I'm doing 8 p.m. cutoff time, no more social media. If anyone wants to join me on that adventure, you are more than welcome to. Have a great week. You got this. Thank you for listening. Bye.